Hey everyone, this is Rob.
And Michelle.
And welcome to Bunebape, your weekly podcast on everything you need to know about old school RuneScape.
Meep merp.
Merp, merp, merp. All right, so this week up on the docket, we have actually a couple things to talk about, but it is a lighter week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's a light week this week because next week is not going to be as light.
yeah. There's a lot of stuff coming up. It's kind of more of a sit and wait kind of week. So this time around, we do have some behind the scenes and fixes. This is some more Yama stuff and just changes currently in the game. And then we have, after that, some really exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Some teases for the new Varlamore content that is coming up. So that's going to be pretty exciting. And we'll talk about that and jump finally into the final thing, which is arguably the most exciting, but to be fair,
I'm kind of more excited for Varlamore.
yeah, I was like, to be fair, maybe not. It's kind of weird. Probably depends on who you are, but it is sailing related. So we're gonna be talking about sailing and some really cool stuff that's coming out for that. But honestly, it's I don't know.
It depends on the person.
Yeah, and it's not a ton of content, so let me not hype it up too much. But it is the beta.
It's a spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler.
God, you're supposed to say sailing news.
It's straight up the beta. So we're going to be talking about what's going to be in it, what to expect from that as well. So don't get too excited if you're like, liking.
Beta's exciting.
Yeah, but I mean, some people probably think that there's going to be a lot, and it's just not as much as I had hoped for. So I don't want other people to get as hyped as I was hoping I was going to be as far as like what content was going to be available.
I mean, we'll talk about more once we get there, but it's about what I expected. It's a beta still.
Yeah, I just expected a little bit more. It's going to be, we'll talk about it. Anyways, and then we'll finish off as always with the questions. So as always, feel free to ask questions. Any RuneScape, other game, real life related questions, drop them in any of our socials linked below or at the end of the pod. Or go to our discord.gg/Bunebape. We have a questions section. Drop your questions there, and we'll be more than happy to answer them. And
we'll ask you the question.
Yeah, exactly. No, we're always super appreciative if anyone asks questions. We are more than happy to answer them as best we can.
And if you join the Discord, you can sign up for bingo, which is going to happen on July 11th through July 14th. So go sign up.
And also, I guess, semi-related and kind of just to get it out of the way is shout out and I guess thank you to a ton of people shared the podcast this week.
Yeah, on Blue Sky.
Yeah,
the Pride one.
In general, a lot of people shared it this week. We saw a lot of the posts and just the uptick in some of that stuff. So thanks for that. And also, unfortunately, just to put a cap on the drama from last week so we can bury the hatchet, I guess, is
we're not burying the hatchet.
there was no response from the company about
I'm actually so surprised that there's no response, but
yeah, there was nothing about
he's a baby.
The backlash from the community or anything like that. No, like, oh, it'll be in next year or this was a bad decision. So I mean, if anything, at least Mod North is standing his ground, whether his decision was good or bad in your eyes. I don't know.
It was bad. I did think we got a couple mean comments, obviously, but I was talking to my coworkers about it. I need my straight validation sometimes, my straight male coworker validation.
Sure.
And I was like talking about it and the fact you delete them or not. And then one of them was like, if it upsets you, why does it matter? Just delete it. And that was crazy. That's what I needed to hear from a 50-year-old straight man. It felt validating.
There you go, dude.
I'm like, thank you. Are you my father?
Unfortunately, dude, if you have comments that we don't like
on our I don't care.
On our podcast, we will remove them. To be fair, I prefer discourse to an extent, like, but if you're just being mean or saying things that are just inflammatory for no reason, that we'll delete them.
Yeah, no.
If you're all like, oh, this because of this, and it's like actually a reasonable take, then it's like I can kind of take you seriously.
Even if it's reasonable, I exist as a queer person. It's never gonna be reasonable to me. I'm like, anything you can say is literally an attack against me. That if you're just like, like in the argument people make, like, oh, it's a sin. I'm like, I'm not going to cater to that. I exist. Like,
true.
I'm not a sin. I don't know.
Yeah, kind of tough. So Yeah, I don't want anyone to get any confusion around that. This is not a community driven podcast, brother.
That makes it sound it's community driven to a point.
Yeah. Like, we hope the community enjoys it, but if not, that's totally cool.
That's like our whole thing whenever we
will,
started the Discord, like, and Robert made all the rules, is like, we are a very open, safe space community.
Yeah.
And-
We do our best to accommodate people, but at the end of the day, we police it the way we seem fit.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That's a good way of saying it, yeah.
I know people bring that up in like other like Discords or other podcasts about like deleting comments. I'll admit it, I don't care. So yeah, we do that sometimes.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's, do we want to see it? No. You guys can say whatever you want, but if you say it on my content, I'm gonna delete it.
Well, yeah, pretty easy.
I don't have to see it.
But yeah, I just wanted to get past that real quick before we get into the other stuff, because I know, there's no way of getting around that type of backlash and like people not still thinking about it the next week. So I figured I'd get it out of the way before we get into the actual stuff this week, which is going to be,
ask me how I am.
I was going to say, which is going to be asking Michelle what she's been up to
You were
this
not
week.
going to say that. I'm so good. I got 95 thieving last night.
Nice.
You didn't even know that.
Yeah.
You didn't even know that.
No one knew that you got,
No one knew.
one level into one of the fastest leveling skills in the game.
But what makes it interesting is I got it from thieving 10,000 ham members over the past month.
10,000 hams.
Yeah, in my loot tracker it's like 9,900, and I was doing some on mobile too. But I'm trying to stack a bunch of clues before my our 4-year streaming anniversary coming up. It's gonna be next month. I am trying to stack like 250 easy clues. I'm stuck at 150 right now, so I've just been going ham at the ham members basically. And I'm so glad to have finally. I'm less than 100 away. I think I'm actually 160 now, so I'm very excited to almost be there. And
There we go.
Sorry, if you were like watching, Moose was being very nervous about jumping up to sit with us while I was talking.
Our cat's.
It was a little hard for me to stay focused.
He's not the most agile man.
He's not, but he's been acting like super distant all week, and now he's being cuddly again. So we're just happy. We're catering to our baby.
Yeah, we're happy that the cats are around.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Anything else?
No, I've just been thieving and doing CAs. I know I'm 32 points away from Master CAs now.
Big.
Running out of stuff that I know how to do. The thing is, I probably can do a lot of the CAs, but if the CA takes me more than an hour, I get pissed. And I don't want to do it. I don't know why there's something about me having such a hard time learning. If it's like a perfectionist thing, like I want to understand things immediately, but like the Vorkath GM time, I was just going like resetting over and over if my BGS didn't hit. And one of my mods, Evercore, Wraith, was like, oh, you should just like get the KC and you're just gonna like naturally get it over time.
Yeah.
That KC took me like 2 minutes, and I'm not even joking, I wanted to cry. And I don't know why that is. But other exciting news is I'm gonna start going to therapy again next week. So maybe we'll delve into that a little bit.
Okay, you don't like long bosses?
I've never liked Vorkath.
Yeah.
And also, I just want to be done with the Master CAs because I want the hilt. The cool hilt. I just really want the cool hilt. So being told
Are
that...
you going to use it for anything?
No, I'm just going to, like, whenever I use a hilt. But remember, like, I'm going to get the thralls for 2 minutes. That's actually really nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then I can officially begin grinding for Grandmaster, which is going to take me, like, 10 years? Something like that?
Yeah,
Rough estimate.
probably just as long as it's taking you to get max.
Oh my god.
So yeah, maybe 15 years, who knows?
Yeah, but I don't know why I've like decided like I need to get masters as soon as possible. But I have, so I've really stuck myself in there. Now I need to work on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're just like a lot of other endgame players that play this game, and they just like casually decide that they are now focused on something else to fuel their addiction because they don't know what else to do.
Yeah, that's also me with the easy clues. I'm
Yeah.
like, I need to do easy clues. And then once I reach the goal, I'm gonna be like, beginner clues. I don't know.
There you go. And then you'll do masters.
I do need to. So the whole
Eventually,
point.
we all know the end game of this game is collection log.
I love collection logging.
Everyone knows that.
I was like going to go to GG's because I want a gargoyle task just for the collection logging, even though I've all done the CAs there. But I also was like, I really want to get Master CA, so I didn't. But that's kind of like part of the reason I'm doing the clue thing for the stream. And the other thing is, if you guys remember, I've spoken about this before, maybe you know, there's little like milestones for every type of clue. It's beginner through master. It's like 600, 500, 400, 300, 200, 100, whatever. And I'm trying to meet all those goals before this stream if possible. So
Yeah,
I also
not
have,
looking good.
I also have to do like 300 beginner clues. That one I'm less sure about. I
Yeah,
have to do,
not looking hot.
I have to do like 49 elites. I have to do 20 more masters. I'm at least gonna have the beginners done.
She will have 1 out of 5.
I will. The hard and medium I've already done before, like a long time ago. But yeah.
Yeah, well, at least you're close.
At least, yeah.
Kind of.
Oh, and if you're just enjoying the bingo as well, I've started releasing teasers for the tiles. I've just been releasing like a tile a day to show what the tiers are.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Feel
stuff
free to
going
join the
on.
bingo. It's still sign-ups are available.
Yeah, and it's down in the description as well. I think I'm gonna give people until like July 1st to sign up or something.
Yeah, it's only 10 mil buy-in, so it's
really
not
not
a
much.
very expensive bingo.
Yeah, it'll be fun. How are you?
Pretty good. I don't really have practically any updates. I got 4 hours of sleep. Shout out. The only real community update that I saw that wasn't related to past drama or just memes was unfortunate, very unfortunate. Shout out to someone that I actually like watching stream occasionally is Lake.
Oh yeah.
Lake lost their hardcore status.
Oh, someone told me that.
Yeah, very unfortunate.
What
Lost
happened?
it. I mean, it was just it was a tough situation, but they're dodging waves in P3 Yama.
Oh, yeah, rip.
So-
Was it like during a contract or regular Yama?
I don't know if it was contract, but it was just the typical double X
No.
waves, and
That's
he got
rough.
he was sitting low HP and he got hit by it, and it was not his day.
Whenever I was very briefly doing like hardcore GIM stuff for fun, that's something that people always told me, and especially Eileen, she's like a hardcore, like super high skiller, 200 mil and stuff. So she knows the hardcore tips. She's like, if there's ever any moment that you're like even slightly low hit points, it's not worth risking for the KC. Just leave.
Yeah.
And that's something I have a very hard time with. If you've ever watched me do content, I will, for something I always say for some reason, it reminds me of that clip of the guy doing darts where he gets really intense, like it's me or the devil, or dance with the devil. But whenever it's like down to both of us, like low, I'm always like, all right, it's me or you. Which one's gonna win?
Yeah, dude.
And a lot of times I'll die because I refuse to leave.
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know who Lake is, a very high level gamer, very good gamer in general. I think they've been
Not
on,
a hardcore gamer anymore.
No, I think they have been on like some of the Gilnor game-esque type of things, if not GG itself. I forgot, but I know
I don't know
he's
if
been
they've been on
included.
it, but yeah.
I think he might have been in Dead Man All Stars. I'm not sure.
I don't
think
know.
he was.
I don't know how, but I know of him.
Yeah. Anyways,
Don't know from where.
he's kind of like, you know, the end game players that you hear about, that you know about, like, and he was a fairly accomplished account. Like he had a shadow, he had like full
Oh.
ancestral and stuff like that. So unfortunate to see him go, but
Big RIP.
we'll see if he runs it back or not.
God.
Yeah, anyways, that is going to be it for our updates. We can move on into this week's actual update. for the
Yeah,
game.
more updates.
Yeah.
This is behind the scene prep and small fixes. They start out by saying a quiet week, which I thought was funny because I saw someone made a thread on Blue Sky about them being like a quiet week and then linking all like the Pride articles and stuff about
Yeah.
Jack X.
It's a
It's
quiet
not-
week on the home front, mostly because, to be fair, there was likely, if I had to guess, a lot of work actually done in the game, but it's one of those weeks where you can't really see it
Yeah.
because there's no actual like new stuff in the game that they fixed.
Yeah, they said they've been working on a lot of stuff under the hood, especially supporting world entities, the movable blocks of map that constitute boats, relating to sailing, of course. Supporting those requires changes to how OSRS's game engine transmits scenery, players to NPC to your client. So rather than launching all these changes at once, they have been trickling them into the game gradually, a process that began last year.
That's
so
a trickle down effect.
is that what it is?
Yeah.
How's the economy?
Shambles.
Shambles.
Just like the trickle down effect.
This means the less of the infrastructure changes changes in any single update, so teething issues are easier to navigate and resolve. I don't like that they referred to that, but
Okay.
whatever. One example was an obscure bug where you can suddenly see players on other floors of your POH but couldn't interact with them. Since we only made a few engine changes, it was easiest for us to figure out which one caused the bug and get it fixed. So just doing everything very slowly and carefully so you can keep track of everything. Smart.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's probably the better way to do it, and setting it up so that it's not a disaster, and doing a bunch of fixes that break each other.
Yeah, there will
on
definitely
release.
be broken stuff on release. Let's just make it as minimal as we can.
Yeah, so they did do a couple regular patch notes, and actually literally a couple.
It's 2.
So the crafting skill guide, for some reason, was showing thieving. It no longer does.
Added the Mage's Book and Ether Runes to the endgame skill guides.
Yep, that's it.
Huge update, but we do have some stuff to look ahead with.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of it, I think there probably was a lot of work. It's just, you can't say it, you know?
Yeah.
So hopefully that'll just make things smoother later down. Anyways, we do have some news on stackable clues.
Yeah, so they can confirm that stackable clues are on track for early July. In the meantime, they're putting the finishing touches on the first wave of our summer sweep up combat changes, which are supposed to go live in next week. That's why I think we might have a lot to talk about next week.
Yeah, they a few people have asked what this is going to encompass, and I don't think we've gotten like a definitive answer, but it is going to include practically all of the TOA changes.
Oh, wow. I want to get the Visani changes because getting just 5 Visani KC is a master combat achievement that I was going to work on because I only have 1 from like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, I should just wait. They're going to get rid of a whole phase.
True. And
I'm not good at it.
also, I mean, even if you're a fan of whole phases, you can take advantage of the boss potentially getting nerfed, because we were just talking about it before the podcast. A lot of the gear is like 30% off because people are expecting you to be able to kill the boss way faster now.
Yeah.
So you can get like, best in slot crush gear for probably the cheapest it's been in a really long time.
Yeah. And that would be like great for your whole phases.
Yes, exactly. Because speaking of whole phases, we are going to get the Delve boss soon, TM.
Okay, that's the next blog. We're not even done with this.
That was the sickest
Speaking
transition
of
you've
holes.
ever heard of.
No, it was not.
Yes, it was.
They have a merch update. So issue number 3 of RuneScape Untold Tales of the God Wars is out now. This is expanding on the God War Dungeon series. You skipped past what I was reading, Robert. Come on, man.
I thought you already knew.
No, I don't know what's happening in it.
Okay.
So you just skipped past it for the second time.
Okay, this is...
He refuses to let me read the synopsis.
No, this is just going to be about the Temple of the Lost Ancients during the God Wars, and obviously the God Wars dungeons, what it's all about. And there's killing of deities and stuff, so it's actually kind of involved. You got Garage Door in there, you got Sarah Doman in there, Ziliana, and yeah, they're going at it. It actually looks pretty good.
I like how you're scrolling. You're like, you don't know the plot to this comic book?
I mean,
I don't know the plot to this comic book.
We got gods fighting each other.
Yeah, but I don't know. They're like Marrow and stuff. I'm like, who's that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Marrow?
The odds of Morrow making it back to the surface, who knows? Who cares? They just got cool pictures.
They do have really cool pictures.
Yeah.
The third issue in this 4-pack comic series from Titan Comics is on sale now alongside issues 1 and 2. They're available from Titan, online retailers, and local comic stores, which you can find at a comic shop locator on here.
Yeah.
Shout out author Ryan O'Sullivan, artist Sid Codian.
Yeah, you can also just get it shipped to you as well. They're not very expensive if you're like, getting into comics or whatever. They're like $5. Also, in general, comics aren't expensive. I think I used to, as a kid, think they were like the price of books. They're generally like $1 to $5.
I think it depends how like rare or old they are.
Well, I'm just talking about like
General.
current, like current comics.
There are 3 different covers, by the way, if you wanted to collect them all. First one's my favorite. So cover A, I'm going to give them shout outs because artists are cool, is Diego Yapier. Cover B is by David Bosane.
Yo, ain't no way they got 3 Davids making 3 RuneScape
Cover
covers.
C by Dave Barker. The first one's Diego.
Oh, so
yeah,
close.
but they do have 2/3 of them are Daves.
Yeah, they got
or
Diego,
David Diego.
Diego Yapur, David Buisson, or Dave Barker. So,
AKA Mod D Barker.
yeah, that's
So we
cool.
call triple D's.
No, I think that's because that's a mod.
Yeah. I mean, well, yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool.
I think, but I'm not sure.
They have 3 different ones: Purple Skull, Zilliana, and Garage Door. Are
Obviously,
gonna
like the
be,
purple skull and basic.
yeah, of course.
Do you have a favorite?
Not really.
Okay.
They're kind of just all generally kind of okay. And also, last chance for the makeshift beanie
Is
key rings.
done. They're
okay.
they're actually it ends today. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the makeshift stuff, but yeah, go and check it out if you like
I
it.
a forecast. You're not a big fan?
Honestly, no, I like the Vorkath. It's the first boss that I really like went ham at.
That's what I got for you.
But I don't know. They're okay.
The humanoid versions I like less.
Yeah, I was like just not a big fan of a lot of the like recent plushy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anyways, you can check them out if you like. And we have a community event.
Yeah, so this is going to be the Mod Wars that we talked about a few weeks ago. So
Yeah.
join us on Friday, June 27th at 4 p.m. BST for some JMod Castle Wars action. You guys remember the mods are going to be basically invincible, and you're going to have to try and keep them from winning your games. I don't know, go protect mods.
Yeah, at the risk of making the same joke twice, you can fight the world boss version of Mod Manked.
Yeah, you did make that joke last
Yeah.
time. You really did.
I just gotta shout him out. You know, that was just hilarious how that did not work out
Oh, it
very
makes
well
me
for
feel
him.
bad. At least you tried, respect.
Yeah, rest in peace. I don't even remember the name of the boss.
Dude, the wildery worm.
The Wildy Worm.
Yeah.
I don't
R.I.P..
know. I want to call him. I wanted to call him Krav Maga for a second, but that's
His name is
definitely
not Krav
definitely
Maga.
a combat style in real life.
In game.
Yeah. Anyways, we do have some news. This is actually really exciting. Probably the most exciting stuff we're going to be talking about this week.
Yeah, so we could get a release date for Varlamore The Final Dawn. It's going to be July 23rd. Whenever I saw this article, I thought it said June 23rd. And I was like, oh my God, next week.
Oh my God,
No,
tomorrow.
Next month. They gave us just like a little overview of the kind of stuff that we can be expecting whenever we get this. Just as a reminder, this is the final part of the Varlamore release. Of course, I'm sure we'll get other small things in the future, but
Hence the Final Dawn.
yeah, hence the Final Dawn. But this is like the last big update for Varlamore.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So they do say that you'll begin to hear more about this in July, which is like right now. But we wanted to share the release date with you and a short reminder of all the content that's going to be arriving.
Cool. First up is the Final Dawn quest. The closing chapter of our Varlamore area expansion brings with it the conclusion of the accompanying quest line. The master tier finale is called the Final Dawn and will see explore the history of Varlamore and the fate of the mysterious old ones. Kind of surprising it's not GM, but
I mean,
we want you to discover the twists and turns of this thrilling story for yourself, but you can check out the quest requirements. Spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear, skip 10 seconds. You need 66 thieving, 52 rune crafting, 52 fletching, and to completed the Heart of Darkness and Perilous Moons.
yeah, it doesn't say any rewards, so it doesn't look like if you don't like quests, this isn't a required quest for the next part we're about to talk about.
Yeah.
The next one is going to be the Doom of Mokoweedle, and
I would say macchiato.
no, I actually looked it up. I looked up the guess at the phonetic,
Yeah.
and it's like Moki'itl or something like that, generally.
Okay.
I don't know.
Delve boss.
Obviously, this
whole
is
boss.
a made-up word. This is the whole boss. If you like diving deep into the holes of enemies to slay big demons, then you'll love this boss.
I don't like how you advertised it.
So, okay.
Do you want to start?
No.
Should we start the episode over?
I mean, maybe. Upon defeating Doom, I was going to start reading it. They immediately jump to when you defeat him.
Yeah, Doom is the boss. They don't even want to type his name that much.
Yeah, very.
Also known as Whole Boss.
Yeah, yes, the Doom Hole. So upon defeating the Doom Hole, you'll choose between leaving with your loot or fighting an even tougher Doom Hole demon. So this is going to be a bigger version of the boss, bigger prizes. The boss will become increasingly challenging as you
the
descend.
hole gets bigger.
And once you go into the largest, deepest, darkest hole, capping at level 8, you can continue to delve as many times as you like. That is going to be the end of it, though. It does cap at 8. That keeps at 8. It makes it sound like you get to 8 and you can just keep going and going and
8
going.
is the final one.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not.
It's just let me read it the way it says.
Read it word for word.
It says, in becoming increasingly lucrative, capping at level 8.
Never mind, you're right.
Though you can continue to delve as many times as you like, keeping the level 8 cap. If you die, any loot you've earned will be lost and you'll leave empty-handed. So it seems like if you are a big time gamer and you're at level 8, you can just repeat farm level 8
that's what it sounds like.
until
Kind of like
you're
if,
done.
like if you were doing solo Coliseum, you just keep getting to reroll the loot table over and over.
It would kind of be like exactly that.
That
Like,
makes me think it's gotta be really hard.
like if you're on like wave 9 at Coliseum, it just would be the same as if you're doing like 9 over and over again.
Gotcha. Okay, I think you're right.
If I had to guess.
Yeah.
I know the max for Coliseum's not 10. I know someone's going to tell me that.
I don't remember what it is, like 12 or something.
Yeah,
I haven't been to that level.
I just chose 9 out of the thin air. I think it's like 11.
Yeah.
But when the Doom is defeated, it will descend further and further into its pit.
Hole.
Defeating it on the deeper levels increases the chance of receiving unique drops, and some unique drops will only appear at these unique, more dangerous, deeper levels. So if you want, for instance, like the whatever good drop, you are not going to be able to farm it in levels 1 through 4. Let's
Same as
pretend.
Coliseum.
Yeah, similar to Coliseum, where actually Coliseum, you have a chance of getting it all the time.
I thought that there was like
they changed it.
they changed it so super early you can't.
Yeah, super early you
I
can.
think. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're right for certain items. I think certain ones you can still get early, but either way, it's working similar to Coliseum. How if you go deeper, chances are you'll get the cooler stuff, the better stuff, the stuff that you're gonna want. So that's generally what it seems like.
Okay. The primary. Oh, almost forgot this part. You must make all your delve progress in a single run. If you return to the surface, you are back to level 1. So the primary benefit to increasing your delve level is increasing your chance to get the unique rewards, which include the Eye of Yak, the new one-handed mage weapon. That looks really cool.
It's so funny the way you pronounce it. It sounds like you're just saying
Yeah.
the Eye of a Yak.
Yeah, a yak. A yak.
It is
How do you
spelled that
pronounce
way.
it?
A yak.
A yak. A
Yeah.
yak.
I don't know.
Avernic treads, which are a new pair of boots that will be best in slot. They're going to combine Pegasian, Primordial, and Eternal boots, and Convulsion gauntlets, which will offer an upgrade to the Tormented bracelet.
Big.
I like how every update recently, it just feels like my best in slot melee is becoming less and less best in slot melee.
It's the power creep.
Yeah. Well,
Yep.
is it even a power creep if I'm like 5 years behind? I think it might just be a me issue. I'm not getting money.
It is general power creep, even if you're behind.
Because I'm like, I don't have Torva, I don't have the new ring, I don't have the new necklace. Now there's going to be new gloves.
Yeah, you're pretty. It's crazy that you play the game all the time.
I just don't do stuff that makes money. I spend hours doing Scurrius.
I could tell you were doing.
Or resetting CAs over and over again.
You were doing ham members.
If I get a good cape, that could be 13 mil.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
There will be 8 delve levels, like I had just mentioned, each increasing in difficulty. You can keep repeating the hardest difficulty for as long as you can survive. So
that answers our question.
It does confirm what I was guessing. But remember that if you do succumb to Doom, you'll lose everything, is what they say.
Did they say like that?
That is what they say.
Where's the suck thing?
It's
No, they just said succumb. You said it weird.
No, that's how you pronounce that word. Did you not know that?
Why do you emphasize the suck?
In the English, in Britain, that's how they say it.
I don't know. Anyway, they do have a full blog link on there for the full information on Doom. But honestly, we've already done an episode on that, and we are definitely going to go over it again once it comes out.
Yeah. Honestly, they don't tell us anything new about this boss. All the stuff we already
yeah, it's
knew.
just getting you excited because, like, to be fair, I forgot about the drops.
Yeah, it's kind of like a rehashing of the boss, and honestly, I'm glad they re-mentioned the loot, the rewards, because
forgot.
I remember the loot originally sucking really bad. So I'm glad they changed it.
Yeah, I'm excited for the yak.
Yeah, true. Next, we actually have some skilling stuff. Skilling / PVM / or it's not PVM.
This is not PVM.
Yeah, it's just all skilling. Right? Okay. So, anyways, this is Auburn, Vale, and Fletching. This is going to be the new Fletching minigame.
Yay!
You can actually prep for this right now if you want to by just getting up your Fletching and getting a
Tons of
giant
bows.
stack of unstrung or strung bows, or whatever you want. Make sure to save them if you want the XP, or sell them, whatever. But I do guess that the price of these unstrung or strung bows is going to go up because people are going to just skip to doing this mini game.
I already have 99 fletching, but I kind of want these rewards because the POH decorations.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's going to be a ton of stuff to do here. It's a town on the north coast of Varlamore. It's had some rough times, but there's beautiful forests, and it's inhabited by magical Ents who are keen to help you recycle all your cluttering bows. Ents roam the forest, leave offerings as they praise the land. You can join them and connect to nature while leveling your fletching skills. You whittle totems in the likeness of the wildlife with your leftover bows, crossbows, stocks, and shields. And if they like it, you'll get XP or rewards.
Cool.
Remember that from the fletching activity includes the fletching knife. These are the rewards.
These are rewards.
And offhand equip. So that's nice. It also will save you crafts or ticks on crafts by 1. So that's kind of nice. It actually
I don't think it's everything, but some of them, yeah.
No, it says some crafts, so it's not going to be everything for sure, but it'll help out. It does require a knife check, or it'll work for anything that does require a knife check. So it works.
Yeah, it's not gonna work for like putting together Dragonite.
No. Yeah, so specifically knife check for whittling and stuff. So the bowstring spool, which can store like a Brazilian
that one's so cool.
strings. For anyone that doesn't know, you can store like 10,000 strings in this bowstring holder.
It's like a crazy amount.
It's a ton. And also you can craft atlatl darts if you're like over going to perilous moons. You don't have to go just for the ammo anymore.
Yeah.
If you have 74 fletching, you can make the new atlatl darts. And also the last thing is a few mask cosmetics and like you mentioned, the POH stuff.
Yeah, which are also mask, I think, right? Weren't they? Like mask on the tree or something?
I think so.
Why
It's like a
can't I remember?
statue.
Oh, it's a
or
statue.
something.
Statue, right?
Yeah. So that's going to be it. There is a full breakdown and a dedicated blog to this. This is kind of just a reminder that this is happening.
Yeah. Another reminder is about the Custodia Pass Slayer Dungeon. So this is a hostile stretch of ground that marks the border between Varlamore and Corrent, and it's the perfect hunting ground for Slayer enthusiasts. After completing a quest, you'll gain access to a new Slayer dungeon with creatures to slay. The Custodia Stalkers are some new mobs in there, which will drop the Antler Guard, a new tradable offhand weapon, which focuses on prayer and offensive stats, but with negative defensive stats. I think this was like, it's your good defensive until you can get a dragon defender.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
If you're too lazy to grind Cyclops.
It's a stopgap in between the defender. So if you're early on in your game, because you do need, 100 and whatever, 150
do need combat. I think no, it's just 100. It can't even be 150.
No, it's not
totaling your strength and attack.
Yeah, totaling your strength and attack.
I thought you meant like how you could only be 126, and I was like, you really haven't logged in on a while.
Technically, if you are like 99 or 100 in strength, you can walk in.
Yeah.
But it's a combination of the two. So if you don't want to do that and you just are going to go here because Varlamore is relatively early game stuff, then you could just come here and do that.
You got options.
Yeah. Speaking of early game stuff, you can go to the new Naguas. So this is the final 55 attack weapon. There's one for every kind of melee now. This is going to be the Earthbound Tech Podle, and it's going to, I think this is a two-handed. Oh yeah, no, same thing as
just
everyone
like
else.
The whatever,
dual wielding.
the maracas.
They said two-handed twin weapons. Just call them dual wielding, man. God, but anyways, so this is just going to be the Earth version of it. I don't know what they still have to do because they have slash, or they have stab, they have slash.
Crush is the maracas one.
Yeah, so I think this one might be stab.
Must be, right?
Yeah,
the other one is slash for sure.
Yeah, I think this is stab. But anyways, it's low level. If you have like a DSIM, it's better. So just don't get this if you have a DSIM or anything better than that. So that's kind of just where that stands.
And then finally, we're going to get the gemstone crab. This is on the shores of the Tolado rainforest. It's a massive crab covered with gems. You can follow a trail of small crabs to find the gemstone crab and fight it with your friends. I don't think there will be, but I hope that there's like a bejeweled crab pet. That'd be really
cool.
cute.
They should, this is the opportunity for them to make a jewel crabbed pet. Like it could just be a like cosmetic addition to a different pet. And just make it a 1 out of 10,000 or something.
Oh my god,
bizarre.
Jesus Christ. I don't know if I agree that much.
Why?
Because I want it.
It's not like a hard pet to get. You can just sit there forever.
Yeah, like Scurrius.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing is, you can go dry on stuff.
And there will be foolish people like you sitting here fighting the boss forever.
It's just be 1 out of 3K.
Give them something to do.
Maybe MVPs only, though.
Also, you talking about the Custodia Pass reminded me. It's funny because I was just...
About that time I was a custodian for 3 days?
No, I was reading a little bit about this real life place called the Darien Gap, or called, I don't know if it's the Darien Gap or Darien's Gap.
Okay.
And it is like a border area like south of like the Panama Canal,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's like one of the most dangerous places in the world
Nice.
because it's just like Amazon forest and like gangs.
Oh,
Like
is it pretty?
actual jungle gangs.
Okay.
And it's like the only way to get like, you know, through up or down to that area, so it's kind of funny.
Fun for them.
Yeah, yeah. Totally not a place you should go. So anyways, all of this though that we just mentioned, all the rewards, all the loot, all the new content you want to do is going to be out on July 23rd for you to explore.
Yay. I'm excited for this.
Yeah.
I'm more excited for this than the next thing.
Bunch of cute new critters, it says.
Yeah, so of course, like there's gonna be small things in it as well. I wonder if we're gonna get new capybaras because they've been adding capybaras in all the areas.
Maybe. Probably
think
not.
so?
I think they're probably mentioning the bunnies.
Well, what if there's capybaras with little crabs on their heads?
That would be crazy.
That would be pretty cute, though.
Yeah, that would be
I
wild.
can see that.
I guess so.
Yeah, that'd be cutie.
Next thing is, if you're a fan of crabs, you'll be a fan of this because we're going to be talking about the
You like
sailing beta.
it's like a psychological need, a physical need. You need a segue.
I mean, that was a pretty good segue.
It was good, but it was funny because you're about to say, and you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. If you like crabs,
Yeah, like I'm
it
all
fulfills
like,
all your needs
I
is segueing in this
I
podcast.
see it, I recognize it, and my brain's all like, all right, make the pretzel with your thoughts, and that's how I
Make
get.
the pretzel.
That's how I get to segues.
Okay, I love it.
So we have the sailing beta, and this is coming for desktop and mobile at the same time.
No, it is. I thought that it will not be. Okay, cool. This is going to be on June 26th, 11:30 BST, and will last until July 3rd. This is coming up so soon. They're only giving us a 1 week notice.
Yeah, and this is exciting because mobile players were not able to take part in
That's
the
what
alpha.
I was thinking of. Yeah, they couldn't do the alpha.
Yeah, so this is going to be a beta technically, so it will be more playable than the original alpha, assumedly, because it now has the beta tag.
And it has months of their feedback from everyone to go through.
Yes, this has been confirmed that it will also include the original stuff from the alpha, so you can go back and do that stuff if you want to, if you felt like you
I
missed
don't
out.
want to do the quest again.
I was just saying, if you're like a mobile player, they never got to do it.
Oh, yeah. I was just thinking, like, I wonder if
Selfish.
oh, no, there'll definitely be a way to load your past save.
No, yeah, it'll be
hope.
the same thing as before. You just go to this world and it'll have a profile.
Okay, cool. Because I was like, I don't want to do it again.
Well, hopefully.
We'll see.
Anyways, this sailing beta, it's going to introduce several new features for you to get your hands on with. This is going to be the first ever look at ship combat. I think it's ship to enemy, not ship to ship.
Yeah, no, they do mention it's not ship to ship.
Yeah, and also bounty tasks where you'll take down sea creatures. Previously, the bounty task was you just being a FedEx driver.
Yeah.
And
This sounds more fun.
yeah, now there's a little bit more stuff to do. Also, the thing that I'm more interested in is crew management.
You're more interested in that.
Yeah, because I still don't know how it works. Are you just gonna hire a gang of dudes and then like get the XP through them, or do you have to swap with them? Who's steering the
I'm
ship?
trying to remember if they explain it thoroughly.
Yeah, I don't
We'll
know.
see in a second.
Yeah, I don't think they explain it super well here. This is a very light vlog. I'm assuming they'll have another more updated one whenever this does come out next week. So yeah, just there's not a ton of details in here yet.
Yeah. Next
Anyways,
week's gonna be a
though,
long episode, I fear.
you can recruit NPCs and assign them to your roles on your ship. So anyone
Very
that
cool.
wasn't picking up what we were talking about a second ago, you can hire, actually you kind of like have to hire NPCs to manage different parts of your
So
ship.
I don't know if you have to. They kind of mentioned something later that to me is hinting that you don't.
Yeah, I don't think you have to, but I
But
think
you're gonna want to.
I think yeah, it's gonna be one of those things where it's like it seems like it'd be really beneficial to have them.
Yeah. And it's not any NPC. You can't walk up to Gertrude and be
Yeah.
like, Gertrude, I need you to be my navigator.
Be like, King, roll to get up on my
Please.
yacht. But no. So also the last thing is gonna be random events. I saw someone
Yeah.
else's sentiment and I agree. They should change the names from random events.
Because it's not gonna be the same as the random events like the imp and stuff.
No,
Yeah.
they're not gonna put the genie on there. No imps, no senior check or whatever.
I'm sure we will still get those at sea.
Probably,
Yeah.
but no, this is not what they're talking about. There is going to be random encounters, is what someone
Yes.
else suggested calling it. Is you're going to run into random things on the ocean and just like not islands, not bosses, just random things.
Yes.
So they're going to talk about that as well.
But yeah, they did give us a quick little overview of what we can expect. There's also a video on here, a trailer that's like an actual like goofy little trailer, has a person in real life, and then has a RuneScape player popping out of the screen and like water splashing on the person and everything.
Yeah.
It's very goofy.
It's
Kind
only
of cute.
40 seconds long.
Yeah, it's not long at all.
Yeah.
But
it's
I
really
thought it was funny.
literally just a hype trailer.
Yeah, thought it was cute.
Yeah.
But anyway, we can go over what we're going to be expecting, just a broad overview. First is going to be mobile.
Yo, wait, before I jump
yeah.
into this, I actually just saw this and it's kind of triggering me. Which side, when you play on mobile, this is a question for you guys too. Which side of your phone, when you play on mobile, is the camera?
My camera's on the left side.
Left or right?
It's on the left side, so this looks weird.
Yeah, my
picture's
camera,
on the right.
I play camera on left.
Yeah, 100% camera on the left.
Yeah. Anyways, I just thought that was really weird.
We're especially interested in hearing from our dedicated mobile community on how sailing feels across different mobile devices. We've tested sailing across multiple devices ourselves, but the data we have obviously pales in comparison against the insight we'll get from all the players. We're looking for feedback.
Let me get into my feedback
on how intuitive it feels, whether ship movement is natural and mobile, or any performance issues or visual bugs you might encounter. So if you ever wanted to sail uncharted waters during your daily commute, or just maximize your bathroom time efficiency, now's your chance.
Or if you're going,
yo, players be shitting.
Yeah, or if you need to conduct a symphony, listening to Bach, you can get feedback while doing that as well.
Read the next thing.
Anyways. We have ship combat. So jumping into ship combat, it looks extremely crude, I will be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, it looks easy to understand.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. The picture they show is like you on a cannon. It looks like a dragon cannon, shooting dragon cannonballs at a shark in the water, defenseless shark.
This poor shark, he just lives there.
Yeah, it does look interesting. The controls they're in the side panel, the controls, and it pops up instead of you changing your combat styles. It allows you to aim up and down, see how many ammos you have left for the cannon, whether it's whatever types of cannonballs. So it looks a little interesting. It also shows you the health of your ship. Check it out if you're interested, but obviously this will be part of the beta, so you don't have to check it out if you're going to participate in that anyways.
Yeah.
In the sailing beta, though, you'll experience ship combat for the very first time, encountering dangerous sea monsters.
Like that shark.
Like the shark. To take them down, you need to build a cannon on your ship and cannonballs. Ship combat is still in the early stages, so don't expect raid level mechanics just yet.
Like you said, it looks a little crude.
Yeah, like I said, it looks like you kind of just strap some stuff together with duct tape, but they designed it to feel like traditional combat with some unique differences. So to engage in ship combat, we recommend you try out the bounty tasks. I'm guessing it'll kind of walk you through it.
Mm-hmm.
They ask you to kill monsters and bring back loot to the portmaster, kind of like Hunter Rumors. Many of you have asked about ship PvP, and it's not part of the launch plan, so if you get it at all, you'll be happy that it happens eventually.
Oh, I mean, they didn't say it like that. They just why did you word it? Can you see if you're watching how confused I looked? I was like, what are you talking about? They say that makes PvP a real possibility in the future. I think that they're definitely going to add that eventually.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway,
I just don't know in which way they would implement it.
No, will they? I don't know how they decide what happens
there's
to
an
your ship.
entire section of the map, that's like a quarter of the entire map.
Yeah, I will see. Next is multiplayer and crew management. So no sailors have to brave the seas alone, unless of course you're attempting a new sailing YouTube series, which is telling me that you can do it without other people if you want.
Oh man, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make a new YouTube sailing series.
I bet a lot of people are going to be making new YouTube series for sailing.
I'm gonna do it.
Okay, do it. I don't believe
check
you.
It out, log in.
With the introduction of ship combat, you'll need some royal crewmates to watch your back, and this update has plenty for you to choose from. With the new crew management system, you'll be able to recruit familiar NPC sailors and assign them roles on your ship. Each NPC will have stats being like hellmanship, privateering, and deck handiness. And I just imagine an interview and they're like 3 words to describe yourself. And you're like, oh man, hellmanship, privateering, deck handiness, for sure.
Boatswainery.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, side note, I accepted that job and I'm starting in a few weeks and it's scary. Anyway, and proficiencies, as well as unique personalized backgrounds. During the beta, you can recruit up to 4 crewmates. We'll give you some hints, but finding them out will be up to you.
Dude, you can get Blackbeard, a real life pirate, by the way. Get him on your ship. He'll just kill all the sharps for you.
Real life pirate in One Piece, aka real life.
Yeah, both. Both happened. Anyways, we have some random events at sea.
Yeah, that's what
kind
you
of
talked
like I
about.
mentioned before. They're adding random ones that kind of just spawn as you explore the ocean. They don't really say what is going to entail in these random events, but they're going to track how long you've been sailing and spawn them at kind of regular, irregular, random times, I guess.
Okay.
So you can interact with them and you'll get rewards, just like how you'd expect. They're short encounters. They don't expect them to be long, and they've been made in direct response to feedback from the alpha. So they want to know if it's a good decision, because they weren't planning on doing this.
I feel like the feedback was probably like, there's nothing anywhere.
Some people will
Even
probably
the small islands will clear that up a little bit, though.
I mean, the feedback was probably exactly like, oh, going from island to island seems boring.
Yeah.
So this is kind of just a little
Which is
something to
skilling
do.
in RuneScape. Grow up.
Yeah, agility is boring. True.
Yeah. How to provide feedback. So when the beta opens, please be sure to share feedback with us so we know prioritize our development time and efforts. Most important avenue for feedback is through the beta feedback survey, which will be linked via the sailing FAQ panel on the beta world. We know some players felt our in-game alpha survey wasn't visible enough, so this time around we'll also remind players to fill out the survey before logging out. I think that's
agree.
a very good idea.
I think they should just straight up have like a clickable banner at the top that's obnoxious.
It's like, please take the survey.
It's the whole point of the beta.
Yeah. In addition to the survey, we value your discussions and contributions on social and community platforms, so you can join in on the conversation on Reddit, Twitter, Discord, and the
sailing Discord.
Discord, or the official Osrs Discord.
The sailing Discord. How dumb.
I don't think it's that dumb.
Why don't they just have a sailing channel? Like I'm sure they already do.
Well, it reminds me of like some people when they do bingos, they make separate channels, separate servers for them.
That's foolish.
Yeah.
We've already run into issues like this where they had a separate PvP server, and obviously a ton of stuff was said there that either did or didn't happen. I'm not talking about drama, I'm talking about like updates to the game related.
Oh, okay.
And it's like you had to go there, you had to check out like 5 different things. This is during like the Manked update.
Oh.
With like the boss and stuff like that. Like you had to go to like 4 different places.
I do remember. It's just like,
and they closed it down because of that.
Yeah, so we'll see how long this lasts.
I don't think this is going to be nearly as much of an issue because there's not as much drama surrounding sailing yet. But
there's a little bit of drama.
That's why I said not as much.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's just weird. Why segment your news channels? It's just so
All I
foolish.
ask is that if you're doing this, please still include it in the blogs, because it's really annoying to find out after we record the podcast, like, oh, and there was this other news that for some reason they didn't put in a blog.
Yeah, I guarantee if I go to the sailing Discord, there's stuff in there.
There's more information. Yeah, probably. So maybe check that out.
Yeah, if you're really interested, check it out. Anyways, what's next is essentially you're just going to wait until the stuff comes out, and then there's going to be a sailing poll, and the next poll will cover actual skill content and resources coming with sailing. And to avoid overlap with the beta, we now expect to publish the poll in July. So fair warning, there's a lot to cover, and it's going to exceed 2 parts because, they have a weird word limit. We have news pages from 1945 where there is a word limit. And yeah, but anyways,
might get
besides
2
that,
polls.
Yeah, we're going to get 2 polls for the price of 1.
We'll pretend it's for fun and not because there's a weird outdated word limit.
Yeah, and that's it. Really, this is going to come out again June 26th. So
that is so soon. I didn't think that they'd get that soon.
Yeah,
so
just next week.
Kudos. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited for that. More excited for Varlamore.
Yeah.
And you?
I don't know. I don't really play the game, obviously, so probably the sailing stuff because it's new.
Yeah.
I almost couldn't care less about.
New.
I'm only interested in the deepest, darkest hole boss.
Cool. I just want to move on from that.
Yeah.
Stop calling him that.
That's his name. I just gotta call him by his name. So we can move on to other people with just as good names from our questions.
Yeah. So first is from Matt on Discord. Following up on my custom sales question from a couple weeks ago, what are the odds Jagex adds Pride sales to the game?
0, -100.
Really? I feel like they would, just so they can pretend and be like, yeah, we're allies.
In 4 years when Mod North quits.
Do you really think we're not going to get anything until then?
I don't know.
Ugh.
I don't know.
I think they would.
I think it's not a bad bet.
I think that they would, and that they would make a big deal about it and pretend that they were like the most accepting people when they did it.
True.
Another.
But no, I don't think so. I think it'll be like basic colors or like stars or something. Like it'll be really
Yeah.
basic, like, you know, like clip art.
Not much personality.
Yeah. If I had to guess, at least in the beginning, and then maybe it'll get more interesting later, but I think it'll be pretty lame to begin with.
Okay. Next question from Matt is: if Sailing is released and receives a huge backlash, over 2/3 of the player base are in disapproval, and even after trying ways to fix it over the course of 1 year after release, still over 2/3 are in disapproval. Do you think there exists a world where Jagex would just remove Sailing from Osrs?
Yes. I think it
I don't
wouldn't even
know.
take a year.
Really?
Yeah.
I kind of am like thinking that they would just keep trying to make it work. But I mean, they did give
No.
up on Project Daenerys, so they are open to just closing things.
I think if it came out and 60 to 70% of your player base hated the update actively,
No, that's true. That's literally the
They-
basis of OSRs.
they would remove it from the game within the month.
Yeah, that was the basis of why it even exists. Is because
They'd
of
be
like,
like,
the EOC
clearly
and
we
stuff.
need to go back to the drawing board, and they would have additional polls / betas.
Yeah, I don't think it would be given up for good though.
No.
Yeah.
I think they're set on the idea, but
They'd just be like,
I
we missed
do-
the mark.
I do think they would straight up remove it from the game if 70% of people hated it.
You know, I found that I was saying miss the mark in a real conversation, not even trying to be funny, because of them always saying in the blogs.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, it
You're
felt
becoming
weird.
Mod North. Shout out.
Ew, don't say that.
Hey.
Next question is from Last Samurai. This is a hard one, by the way. Imagine develop your own OSR's boss based on your real life attributes and personality, humanoid or otherwise. Also, you need to mention at least one special attack based on your real life personality, lifestyle, and a basic structure of a fight as a whole. Bonus question: where are you located in the world, and any god alignments? I can't do all that because I'm not that creative, but I will try to think of
Okay.
something. You first?
Sure.
I have like a couple ideas, but like low key, I'm just hoping that once I start talking, they'll all make sense.
All right. So mine is based on middle management having workers do all the work. So because
Are
of
you
that,
bitter about your job?
no, not at all. So because of that, we have like an amalgamation boss that doesn't actually do anything and splits into 3 smaller bosses that have like avoidable things that you have to deal with. And like each of them, it's not going to be like ranged melee mage. It's just going to be 3 different guys that will like toss different things at you. They're dodgeable, overhead prayable. It's a very technical boss
Okay.
because each extra sub boss has its own specialty, and you can like deal additional damage to them by using each of the different combat styles. So it'd be a tribrid boss.
How do you think of stuff like this?
I don't know, I just thought about it. That's part of the question.
Oh my god.
And then you said you also need to mention at least one special attack based on a real life personality, lifestyle, and basic structure of the fight as a whole.
You
So
already kind of gave that a little
yeah,
bit.
while they're in the arena, eventually they'll come together and the boss will yell something about like them not doing anything correctly, even though he hasn't done anything because he's obviously the boss. So they all come back together and he becomes big again. And because of that,
You already mentioned this in therapy, by the way. Be like, I
True.
thought of a great video game idea, and she's like,
True.
oh my god.
and because of that, he's all like, oh, I'll take it into my own hands. And he like does a special attack that's like kind of like a dance like they have in other fights like Fasani and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's like there's going to be like kind of like railroading in through the map at different angles, kind of reminiscent of when bosses don't listen to your feedback and railroad through doing whatever they think is best when they're wrong.
He's had a rough couple weeks at work.
Dude, I'm trying to answer the question, brother. So
It is crazy. Like, if you peel away the layers, you're like, he's clearly going through it at work.
yeah, so it's like then that's a transition phase, and then it'll go back to like 3
Not doing anything.
no, it'll go back to now 3 different employee NPCs that are fighting you like sub bosses, and
Yeah.
they have different defensive weaknesses and stuff like that. So it's like it'll be probably 2 phases. I don't want to get like 3 phases, that'd be too crazy.
Mhm.
It wouldn't be overcomplicated, but it would just have like I like the technical aspects of fights. I don't like the super sharp timing of certain things. I like the dancing aspects of fights too. So I would include a bunch of that. I wouldn't include tick perfect stuff. I think that's kind of not stuff I like generally. So it'd be more like combining movement with awareness with special attack, like utilizing special attack on mobs that are like weak to certain things. And I would include elemental weaknesses in this too.
Your answer is so good.
Yeah.
That's so good. Where are they located in the world? Any god alignments?
Where are you located in the world and any god alignments? Like my character?
Yeah, your boss.
Oh, my boss.
Not you.
Yeah.
In California.
Well, I was thinking that this would be kind of like a okay, so anyone knows this that lives in Southern California. It is incredibly frequent that we actually have massive amounts of sewage come up from Mexico. And so I always kind of think of like the southernmost beaches as like pits. And so what I was thinking is this boss could be like an amalgamation, like I said. So it'll be kind of like a pit of despair, a pit of like gluttony, some kind of nasty pit where these things have formed together over time.
Yeah.
That's the location.
You just want to be in a hole.
And no, it's not like an actual pit, like it's a step down pit, kind of like
Huey's Mountain.
No. No, more so like the Hill Giant boss.
Oh, Obor.
Yeah.
Like a little tiny
kind of
hill.
like a step down, and then you're like in the thick of it, if you
Gotcha.
will. And the god alignment would probably be Zeros because it's just like straight chaos, straight terror, bad stuff. There's no
Okay.
like actual god there. It's ungodly, if anything. There you go. That's the boss. That's the new boss.
I should have answered first. And also, the longer you kept going into detail, the less and less detail I had for mine. Because I was just like, I can't compete. I can't.
There you go, dude. Step up.
Man, I should have talked first. This
Step
sucks.
up to the plate.
Should I edit this on first?
Yeah, just delete the whole episode.
So-
And then you go first.
Everything's going to sound so lame now. I
You're
thought
like,
of a
"There's
couple different
guy,
things.
He hits you in the face.
Well, I was trying to think, like, do I, like, make it funny? Because I was like, I could do something about, this is, like, a joke a lot in the stream about, like, something really to, like, shit or something.
Wow, so you're actually going to invent the first poop boss. Well, actually, the second poop boss. You're not even original.
Like a sludge thing, and, like, it throws it at you, like, it ranges you.
Nice.
I thought that'd be kind of funny,
Yeah.
but yours is so much more well thought out. And then I thought of others.
You saying that reminded me of a Pokemon.
Okay.
There's a Pokemon that I always thought was just like a moving poop. Because he's kind of like a tar based Pokemon.
That's kind of what I was imagining, like tar. Like
Yeah.
it wouldn't literally be shit, but like that's the vibe you'd get for sure. Like it's gross. You don't want it.
Like a sludgy
like sewage.
sphincter boss.
Not a sphincter. It's not a butthole. It's not.
Okay.
I thought that'd be kind of funny, and yours is so well thought out. But yeah, it's special attack, like like ranges and like
Different strokes. Some people like jokey bosses, like
Yeah.
Giant Rat.
that's a very serious boss.
Oh, okay.
To be clear, what my first thought was, oh my god, a rat boss, and I was like, wait.
Yeah, you can redo it. Do it again.
Yeah, I don't know what the special would be like, because I'd want to range. So maybe like it has like little like. What am I thinking? Oh, kind of like the blobs in Inferno, but like little mini versions come out of it every once in a while and attack you, and you have to like deal with those, or you can't deal damage to them.
Okay.
This would be located in a sewer. It couldn't be in the Varrock sewer. Where else has a sewer? I think there's one in.
There's a few of them.
Yeah, there's a few. In Port Piscarilius, I think there's like a quest over there. It could be over there.
There is. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
actually the Queen of Thieves.
Yes, that quest. Yeah, so it could be like in that sewer. No god alignment. It's literally trash water. And then my other one, this one is I'm less sure how it would work, but it would be stop.
Go ahead.
It would be less so about like the boss based on me, but more so like I really like animals, so it's just I don't even know how it would work. Like,
But I like animals, so
No,
I didn't have a thought connected to that. I just want you guys to know.
okay, so picture it. Close your eyes.
All right.
You're on an island. There's a volcano. I don't know why, but there has to be a volcano. There's someone sitting on a throne
Alright.
next to the volcano. They hate animals, Robert. They hate them so bad.
And so you chop up their kids and burn them to lure him out.
No, we beat their ass to save the animals, and the animals are capybaras.
Cool. So you're killing a poacher. That's your boss.
Yeah,
All
killing
right.
poachers.
A poacher that is
It's
made
like
of poop.
That's different. I think the poop one is weirdly enough more like established in my mind.
Oh,
So
okay.
whenever your answer was very serious, I immediately felt ashamed.
nice. Classic.
Yeah, so I don't like these questions. I don't like that one. It's too hard for me. I'm not very creative with stuff like that. Even
Big.
like whenever I do crafts, I'm like, all right, I'll look up an origami and I will copy that. I look up a painting and I will copy that. I'm not good at original ideas.
Well, everyone has their strong suit. Yours is just poop related.
Last question.
Last question.
Well, Matt actually had a response to that as well. I honestly wish there was one human NPC that was as good a fighter as an experienced high-level PKer. Could be a special Faldor knight or something, and you have to challenge him to a duel.
Yeah.
There isn't much bosses that are like people. Right? They're
Yeah.
all like whimsical people. Like it'd be cool to just have like a melee boss that is a person. But they don't look as cool.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Closest we have is like Akka. But even he's like whimsical. Mythical? What am I trying to say?
Whimsical?
Whimsical.
Akka the whimsy guy. He's just a fun-loving dude.
He's just like a little guy.
Yeah.
Last questions from Harger on Discord. Controversial suggestion.
No, it's not.
Robert immediately agreed when I told him. I know Tutorial Island is nostalgic for longtime players, but do you think it would have been better if it were more interesting and natural feeling? Maybe you're on a camping trip with fisherman, miner, wizard, etc., and events occur that make them tell you how to do their skill. A couple examples. You were helping your fisherman friend fish and light a fire when a few goblins attacked, and your warrior friend tells you how to help him fight back. Then your religious friend is saddened by the deaths and tells you how to bury the bones properly. I think that sounds cute. I like it.
Yeah.
I think that would be fun, but also I agree it is very nostalgic doing the regular.
Yeah.
So that's what makes it hard.
I think it is one of those things where I suggested, I was like, this is a good idea, but I think the nostalgia is there for a lot of people.
It really is.
So,
it does always feel nice.
I was thinking that the nostalgia is there more so for returning players, longtime players. They've heard the Tutorial Island song, Harmony or whatever it is.
Harmony's my favorite RuneScape's track.
Like a million times. Like we've all been there. We know the island. It's cool.
When you first land in Lumberjack after too, it's just such a nice, happy feeling.
I'm not blown away after like the third or fourth account, right? Yeah. So because of that, I think they could give you an option.
Mm-hmm.
They do this in World of Warcraft as well.
Yeah.
Because World of Warcraft equally as old, right? Extremely old game, 2007. So not as old, but pretty much, right? So what they did is they revamped the starting area. Completely new story, similar thing, crash landing, and then you kind of pick yourself up by the boots, as it were, and discover things. Mm-hmm. So I generally think that's a better, do the story however you want to be more thematically RuneScape. That's cool. I like the idea of like people teaching you. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
But how it is now is a little dated. Like you can show up on Tutorial Island and then make your character, see if your name's available, which it won't be. And then it gives you an option. You're like, continue or new experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then
didn't they change? They did changes so you can skip some stuff now, right?
I think.
But it's definitely not new stuff.
I think they made it a little more streamlined, but you do have to do everything still.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know. It's been a while.
Yeah. It's still mostly the same. So I think if they could do an improvement like that, honestly, I think it would be a little bit of a dev time sink. Like you're not getting any new players like that.
Yeah.
Especially.
And also people will do it once and then they'll like maybe skip it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like eventually people will just do whatever is the fastest or the simplest one. So I don't think it matters that much, but I do think it would be cool.
I think it'd be cool once and then people probably change their mind. But it's kind of cute.
Yeah.
Rather than being like, those rats are in a cage, just shoot them. And I'm like, oh, okay,
yeah,
sure.
Yeah, I think it would be cool if they like did a more themed like potential version. Mostly because I think it'd be interesting, not because I think it'd be good for the game, but if they're like, all right, now this is the vampire version.
Oh, cute.
That'd be
like around
cool.
Halloween, they kind of like add decorations or something.
Yeah, or I don't know, just because like I think the vampire area is cooler. So
yeah, Just like out like the Elf area.
Yeah.
Be like,
Yeah.
where do you want your tutorial island to be based on continent?
Yeah. That would be
That'd
cool.
be really cool.
Super unrealistic at that
Absolutely.
point, but that would be cool too. That's cool though. I appreciate the questions. I liked
Thanks.
all of them, and
Except for Last Samurais, because you made me think.
I thought they were pretty good questions this week.
It was a good question. I enjoyed your answer.
Yeah,
I felt
I
embarrassed
liked
by
them
mine.
a lot. As always, we always appreciate every single question
you.
as much as the next. No best or worst questions. They're all
Your question was good, Last Samurai. I'm sorry.
they're all loved by us.
Yes.
So we do appreciate it, and we hope to see more in the future. And if you want to, join them and ask us questions or continue asking questions, feel free to go to any of our socials.
Yeah, our Discord is discord.gg/Bunebape. We also do movie nights, and you can sign for bingo there. I also have Twitter and TikTok, Bunebape Osrs. Twitch, YouTube, Blue Sky, and Instagram are all just Bunebape. I'm posting like the little teasers of the bingo everywhere, essentially. So if you follow any socials, you'll probably see it there. And yeah, come hang out on my stream 4 days a week. And sign up for the bingo. It'll be in the description. I'm going to make sure the link works before I publish this. Reminder to myself, make sure it works. But that's it. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's going to be it. And thanks again for listening. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. And if you did, we'll see you all
Very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.